Hazbin Hotel is written, directed, and created by Vivian Medrano and tells a story about a demon princess named Charlie who wants to bring all the sinners of hell to heaven, and by doing that she wants to bring them to her hotel and try to basically fix their life problems and everything. But everyone laughs at her, they don't believe her or her girlfriend, and Angel does just make things worse by just being his crazy self. So they go back to the hotel, and when Alistair the radio demon comes in to offer his help, everyone's a bit hesitant until he confirms why he's there truthfully and what he plans to do for the hotel. Now I remember watching this pilot back when it was first released in 2019 and everyone was hyped about it, and at the time, before like the Amazing Digital Circus, which I do plan to review one of these days when I have time, it was like crazy big. Like, I believe it was the most viewed pilot at the time, and since then she'd been doing Hell of a Boss and a bunch of other shorts here and there. There's like Lackadaisy, then there's the Amazing Digital Circus, like a bunch of indie stuff, mostly with Michael Kovac, have been coming up a lot and getting so popular in the indie space, and I think it all connects back to the success of Hazbin Hotel, as it shows that indie shows and creators have the ability to create something really unique. And that's what I believe was able to be shown here in this pilot episode of Hazbin Hotel. I really enjoyed this pilot still to this day, and rewatching it the other day, I still think it holds up very well. Animation wise, you could tell that this is the early stages of Vivian Medrano's work and how she is trying to express her style and art style and the way things are animated and the way the characters are drawn. You could tell that this is like early work of her, and since then she's been able to do a lot more creative stuff with her animations, and I think she did a phenomenal job here still. The level of detail to the backgrounds, the character designs, to the way animations are like moved around and how the characters move around is just fantastic. For a YouTube indie pilot, this looks really good design wise, animation wise, the color palettes, the way the backgrounds are drawn, it's just fantastic to look at, and just I cannot praise the animation and the look of it enough. But animation style and looks alone can't save a pilot. There needs to be an interesting story for you to get hooked on, and that's where I believe this episode really does shine. In the first few minutes of the episode, we start off with the musical number that basically emphasizes just how this world is like, how the hell world looks and how it feels, like types of people living there, and what goes on whenever there's a mass murder by the angels coming down to cleanse all of hell as much as they can. And you can definitely feel the emotion of what Charlie is going through, and you can understand why within these first few minutes she would want to build this hotel and try to help her people. And later on, when the tone gets a little bit more lighter, there's still that sense of optimism that you see from her, and her still believing that she's able to fix and help everyone. But seeing everything go wrong and seeing how she is and how excited she is to be on the news and tell the whole, I wouldn't say world, all of hell about what she plans to do, you really feel for her, especially after the opening scene. And you also get a sense of what her relationship is like with Maggie and how these two love each other. It is pretty subtle, like they don't out explicitly say that they're getting like dialogue. You just see how they are like with the visual shown, how they act towards each other, and you could tell that they really do care and love one another as a couple. And I like that. I like how a lot of indie stuff portrays a lot of same-sex relationships as more realistic and not in your face with just dialogue like Hollywood does. It just feels a lot more natural and a lot more believable in this case. Humor wise, this is my type of humor. A lot of dark humor, a lot of sexual innuendos that are clever and not feel like they're written by a 12-year-old. And they usually give these types of jokes to the characters that fit these types of jokes very well, like Angel Dust or the news anchor lady Katie Killjoy. And these two characters work in that dark space of humor very well. And seeing how they all act towards each other, and especially seeing Angel Dust and Cherry Bomb's relationship here and how they're going up against their Penchus, it's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Seeing all these characters' lives and how they act towards each other, who they are, and they were able to fit all this very well within one pilot in like 30 minutes. And you already understand these characters extremely well, their motivations, who they are, what their quirks are. The level of attention to detail with character here, I really admire, especially considering that this is a 30-minute pilot. And when Alistair comes into the picture, played by Ed Bosco, I was floored by his performance. He killed it in this role as the radio demon, how he acts towards Charlie, how you don't know what his true intentions are throughout, and you're still, after he explains everything, really unnerved about him and unsure about what his intentions are. He commands a level of authority that is very slimy, unpredictable, and when that musical note hits, I was completely invested with the character already, and I was just jamming with him. And the episode ends, we get the introductions to Husk and Nifty, though they are a bit minimal here. Understandably, there's going to be an entire show later on now, but I really like their inclusions. They provide a neat bit of humor here and there, understanding Alistair's relationship with other people and who he interacts with. And so then the episode ends with a big bang as Sir Penchus tries to attack the hotel. Alistair defeats him quickly. Then they go back to the hotel and change it to the Hazbin Hotel. Overall, I still really enjoyed this pilot. I found it to be a lot of fun. It is fast paced. I found the humor to be extremely well written, but also the dialogue and story also well written too. And the motivations behind all these characters, how you understand who they are. I really enjoyed the way this pilot was directed, how it was written, and the style of animation and the look and polish this pilot has. I still think it holds up pretty well. Now, compared to some Vividly Pop's later works, it is definitely not in that level of polish yet. This is still early stages, but still. This looks incredible for what it was able to do. The characters are really enjoyable, and overall, I still found myself having a good time with this after all these years later. So overall, I would recommend checking out the pilot. I'm not going to give it a grade because this is just a pilot episode, but overall, it is great in my opinion, and I would highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.